Welcome back to the Top 100. Here we go again. Today I am doing, let's see, 90 through 81. Hoping to do three of these this weekend so that Jimmy doesn't complain. Um, Shout out to Jimmy for always being a whiner. No, that's not true. I'm sorry, Jimmy. Okay. Should I restart the video? No, I won't. Number 90 was 81 last year, or 61 the year before that. This is a deck builder. This is called Dale of Merchants. I have a couple boxes here. Dale of Merchants is a very interesting game because deck building. Deck building is a genre I really like. Typically in deck building, you are like building up your deck. This is great content. In order to basically create this kind of Uber deck where you're doing everything, you're like drawing a bunch of cards and playing a bunch of things, and boom, 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 everything's awesome. In Dale of Merchants, it's a race to be the first one to like 8 achievements. The way you do the achievements is using cards from your hand. And so some of the best cards in your deck you play and you get them out of your deck. Which means it's kind of very tactical. You're having to adjust the things on the fly. I really like it. The whole race to 8, it's definitely a different kind of deck builder. And the way that you build the decks is you shuffle them up and there's a river, but you're choosing a certain number of like kind of factions to play with, different kinds of animals. And it's very cool. That's Dale Merchants. Number 89, back on the list after a couple years off. So when I started the list, it was 42. Then the next time it was 42, and then it was off the list. And I don't know why it's back because I haven't played it recently, but man, it's a great game. This is Ingenious. Not my highest Reiner Knizia, but he's certainly one of my favorite designers. And he's got several on the list. I don't think I looked up how many he has on the list, but anyway. In Ingenious, you are playing these kind of hex-based dominoes here that look like that, and you're playing them on the board to create these patterns. And when you play them down, you get points in various different colors for where you play them and how they interact with the dominoes that are already on the board. So there's 6 different colors. You're trying to get the best for each of the colors, but the way the scoring works is your final score is equal to your lowest score of the 6. And so you absolutely have to balance things out. Now, if you do max out like one of the colors, then you get to say ingenious and you get to go again. And that's very powerful. So that's kind of cool. But you really have to watch out for the ones in which you are not doing so well. So if you're really not doing super well at purple, you're like, ooh, I've got to make sure I get some of that before the end of the game. And if you're playing it correctly, then your opponents are being very cutthroat and they're noticing, oh, he's low on purple. I'm going to make sure he doesn't get any. Great game at its best when you're playing with people who are not afraid of being mean. Number 88, big drop on the list. Number 88 is Azul. Azul was 31 last year, 35 the year before that. This is definitely the lowest it's been, but it's still on the list every year I've done this. Fun fact, this is one of the first games I ever thrifted. I got this for $7 at a Goodwill one day, and it was like, wow, amazing. This is a thing you can do. And then I didn't really thrift anything good for a few years after that. But now I'm big into it. Azul, regardless. This is almost like kind of one of the new stereotypical welcoming games. Like you used to have Ticket to Ride and Catan and Carcassonne back in the day. Like Azul has kind of stepped into that role, along with maybe Splendor. It's a really good game. I don't know why it dropped a bit. I haven't played it in a little bit. It works really well at 2. I like it with more people as well. Again, kind of like Ingenious, it's one of those games where I think it works best if you are playing Cutthroat. If you notice, hey, if I take this, then the player after me is going to have to drop some of their tiles on the floor and get a bunch of negative points. So I'm going to do that. I think that's the best. So yeah, that's Azul. Number 88. Number 87 is the Fox Experiment. Surprisingly heavy for a box this size. This is my highest Elizabeth Hargrave game on the list. Only one on the list. I like Wingspan. I like Mariposas. I like Wormspan. They're certainly in the top 200. In the Fox Experiment, the theme is very cool in that you're breeding foxes. I know I don't talk about theme a lot, but that's just who I am as a person. But one of the neatest things is that when you make your own foxes, you like write their little stats on them based on the dice that you rolled. You roll a ton of dice, which is great. And then you write all these symbols down, and you have some decisions to make. Very crunchy, very interesting. Um, and then the dice or the fox that you created goes into the pool to become like the parents for the next generation. And then you're drafting new parents, but you may be like, oh, I'm going to take this one back because I like that fox so much. And you always name them fun things like sometimes I'll be like name them all characters from Lord of the Rings or something like that. Though you run out of female names pretty quick. um, and, and then what else? Oh, the fact that there is a lot of dice rolling, a lot of, but like the randomness is mitigated, and then there's a lot of decision making once you have that randomness. I really like kind of that side of randomness. There's a term for it. It's either like output or input randomness, where you roll a random result first and then you decide what to do with it, as opposed to, oh, I'm trying to do this. I'll roll to see if I achieve it. I don't like that, and that's what D&D is based on. Not a big fan. Um, but this one I am a big fan of, the Fox Experiment, number 87. And technically a rolling, right? Because you are rolling the dice and you're writing on the cards, but like, kind of. Number 86 is new to the list. This is Trinket Trove. Trinket Trove, I have played so much last year. Nikki got this game in the springtime. Or, she got it at Geekway to the West, and then she played it with me and Amy. And then we just played it a ton at Origins. We played it a ton, basically everywhere. And then shout out to Nikki who gave me this copy, which she picked up at PAX Unplugged. This is from a new publishing house, Gamehead. I've only played one other of theirs, Corky Pileup, and it was terrible. Don't recommend it. But Trinket Trove's awesome, so get Trinket Trove, not Corky Pileup. In this game, it's kind of a little like the Borrowers, if you remember that series, but you're playing as little rodents, so you're playing as mice and voles and things like that. So you have a character, and then you're trying to do set collection with these various different things. But the way that you're doing that is you're using the cards in your hand to bid for the new cards, which then go into your hand, and then again, you're using cards in your hand to bid for new cards. So there's very much this balance of when are you trying to solidify a set and when are you trying to just get better cards so you can bid for better cards so you can solidify a set in the future. Very quick. It's 6 rounds. I think the time it says on this is 20 minutes. It says 30 minutes. This is 20 minutes, and that's including if you play it with 6 people. Really like this one. Trinket Trove. We'll see. Hopefully it stays on the list. Sometimes some of these smaller games I just love. I like play a bunch in one year and then I kind of forget about them. I don't think that's going to be the case with Trinket Trove. Another slightly smaller game, but it takes a while. The box is small, but it's not a small game, really, is Bonanza, number 85. There's another one that's been on the list all 5 times I've done it. Bonanza is the bean trading game. It's from Uwe Rosenberg, one of my favorite designers. Mostly known for his heavier designs, but some of his earlier games were lighter. And it's not complicated. It's just weird. So one of the main things, you cannot rearrange the order of the cards in your hand. And at the start of your turn, the very thing you must do is plant the bean that is in the rightmost spot that's been in your hand the longest. You must plant it immediately. But you might not want to. Too bad, you still have to do it. Well, then what are you going to do in that case? As the turns go around, you are supposed to be doing trades with other people. So when it's their turn, you can be like, I'll give you one of these blue beans if you give me 2 of your stink beans or something like that. So it's a negotiation game. It's trading. I tend to be bad at negotiation games just because people are like, oh, I'm not going to trade with Kyle because he's really good at games or something. I'm not that good at games, I swear. I just like them a lot. Okay, just because I'm surrounded by them doesn't mean I'm really good at them. I'm okay at games. But in this game, I feel like I managed to get past that whole like I'm not going to trade with Kyle thing because I'm just willing to do trades, and the more trades you do, the better you do at the game. And so I'm very much a fan of not letting the perfect be the enemy of the good, and that strategy works out real well in this game. If you're like, oh, I could try and get 4 points here, I'll be like, well, let me just get the easy 1 point. Pick the low-hanging fruit. Love it. That's number 85, Bonanza. Number 84 is another rolling right where you write on the cards. This is Rolling Realms. I now have the Rolling Realms Redux box, which this includes the original game as well. This was 50 last year, 84 this year. Rolling Realms is a game that was designed by Jamie Stegmaier, one of my favorite designers, in the pandemic as kind of a free print and play way to play games with people, as many people as you want across the internet. Um, it the theme of the game is other games, so it's a little bit meta. But you see in this one, for example, and like here's poker, here's Meadow, here's Atiwa, like the Legacy of You. Like some of these games I have not played. There's Flamecraft, and all of the Stonemaier games are in here. So Wingspan, things like that. And they're all little mini games based on the larger game. Each time you're playing the game of Rolling Realms, hard to talk about this game, you are choosing 3 mini games to play, and then you play them one after the other. Everybody plays them at the same time and uses the same rolls of the dice to try to, make the best decisions. And at the end, whoever's most points wins. Very cool. Like the theme is great. I will say it takes a little bit longer than I would like. It's a little bit harder to learn the game, but once you learn it, it's really good. I'm not afraid to teach it, but like it's more of a hassle than you might think it would be. It does play 6 players, and it plays 6 players well, as roll and writes tend to, because everybody's taking actions at the same time. That is Rolling Realms. Number 83 is a deck builder. It was 60 last year, 33 the year before that. This is Mystic Vale. And I say it's a deck builder. This is the card crafting system, where each card is essentially a sleeve, and then is enclosed in a sleeve, and then you craft new cards by adding new parts to the sleeve with some of these translucent, is that the word I'm looking for? These see-through cards that you're adding in to make new cards. So it's a way to do deck building that's really kind of weird and interesting, and it's a lot of fun. It has the whole little push your luck thing that is in a couple other games like Living Forest. There's another one I'm thinking of where you can flip over cards, but if you flip over too many of one symbol, you bust and your turn is skipped or something like that. It's in what else is that? Forget about it. We'll no worries. um, but yeah, this game has just the ability to do some crazy things, and that's a lot of fun. And the fact that you're crafting your own cards makes it feel like you're very much like in charge of your destiny. Like, yeah, there's luck in the game, but like you are able to feel like you did some really cool things because you did. That's Mystic Vale. The last 2 today are I do not own, so that's a little bit sad. They're both new to the list, but number 82 is Surfasaurus Max. This game is way out of print. You can get a new version that I didn't even bother to look up the name of because you shouldn't get it because the theme is like fruit. Whereas the theme of Surfasaurus Max is dinosaurs surfing, which is probably the best theme of all time. And what is the game? It's kind of competitive poker. Poker is already competitive, but you're as a group making one poker hand, and whoever participates in making the best poker hand will get points. And you get more points if your cards are lower, which is obviously harder in poker. So it's this weird group think like, oh, if I play a 2, maybe the person next to me will play a 2. So you play your 2 down, and then the person next to you plays a 3. And you're like, well, okay, if it winds up working out that there is a straight, that's great. I'll get some points in that. But then the straight winds up being 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you're left out of it completely. And you're like, well, what's the point of all of this? Ridiculous game. Really love it. Shout it out to all the people I played it with at Origins. It is in the Origins library, but actually, Nikki also has a copy. So, like, play it. It's great. Love Surfasaurus Max. I think Kevin picked up a copy too. So, Kevin, sound off in the comments. Because I played Mystic Vale with you. I should have said playing with Kevin and Shelly was great this past year. Regardless, one last one to talk about. Clearly, I'm a little bit loopy. This is a perfect game to talk about with that. New to the list, this is Magical Athlete. This game just had a reprinting last year. It's an older game from like the 90s, but they brought it back. The art style, I think, is ridiculous, like in the best way. It has all these chunky little minis, and it's just a really silly, stupid game where you are essentially rolling your dice and moving your guy. It's just a roll and move, but every single character has different abilities. You draft the abilities at the start of the game, then everybody chooses one ability to use each race, and just whoever finishes the race first gets some points. There's other ways to get points, and there's just crazy abilities. It's really a lot of fun. I did not realize I was at Games Unlimited the other day, saw they had it there for $30. I didn't realize that this game is sold for $30. For the production quality of those chunky wooden meeples, what a steal. I will probably pick this one up at some point. It's a lot of fun. It's great. Magical athlete. And the characters are just amazing. Like you've got the mouth, which eats people. You've got legs, which is just this guy like on incredibly long legs. And then the best one, of course, the best meeple is Big Baby or Huge Baby. It's just this huge baby meeple. Amazing. Love it. That's number 81, Magical Athlete. Thanks for following along. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I'll hopefully be back soon with the next one. So stay tuned. Thanks a lot. Bye.